Hey folks, it's Alex Krez from Late Night Gaming, and this past weekend in Portland, I was able to finish in seventh place with Han2 Blue, and I'm here to give my tournament report, maybe poke fun at some of my misplays, and at the end, we're going to have a Yaddle mat giveaway, so stay tuned. First off, the deck list, I think everyone's very familiar with this deck at this point, and mine's not too spicy, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'll just call out for my PQ win the week before, I added a couple things. I added the Marins. She was definitely an MVP. Like, it felt amazing playing her every time. She got a lot of two for ones I'll talk about, especially against Cad Bane, and which is a great addition to the deck. I went up to the third power of the dark side. Honestly, I almost wish I had a fourth out aspect card, which would have helped me maybe in my top 8 match. And then I added the Tranquility to the side, which did help me win my one mirror match, but honestly, it could have been probably any other bomb in there, like Chewy or something. So, good card, but definitely not like a for sure must have. One more two other things. I do have the 6-drop mace still. Honestly, I like having the 4 damage option. Sometimes the 3 minus you get from Anakin or Luke is not enough, so it's nice to have that in your back pocket. And lastly, no Force Lightning. Yeah, that's a card I was trying out for a bit, and honestly, just never felt that great to play it out of aspect. And unless you're killing a Super Laser Tech or a Crate Dragon, but so I ended up cutting it for the powers, which just felt great to play at 5 pretty often, to be honest. So that's the list, and we'll move on to talk about the tournament run. So in day one, I matched up round one against a Piet Colossus, which I'll tell you I was not super stoked to play against. In game one, I was able to take down game one, but then in game two, Steve played 2 redemptions to heal for 16. So that's a lot of damage to get through. And then in game three, I had my first misplay of the day where I had a line for lethal with a crate on Anakin on board, but instead of going for it, I assumed that he had the answer to my crate dragging with 10 resources up. So I went for a line that relied on him basically making a big misplay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna swing with Anakin first, and then he's gonna like assume that I have an answer to his Devastator because I have 3 resources up. So I'm gonna make him think I have entrenched. And I went through all this like convoluted thinking, and he just claimed and won the match. And I was just like, okay, this is not how I wanted to start my day. But I was able to kind of just take a breath after that and cool off and obviously bounce back. So going to round 2 and 3, played a couple Boba Data Vaults. A matchup that I do like is Han2 Blue. Drew basically what I needed to draw in both those games. In the second match against Brooke in round 3, I actually dropped game 2 due to a slight sequencing error where at the end of the second to last round, I should have probably had the Force, but wasn't thinking about top decking another itinerant, which I did top deck, but then couldn't play. So Brooke was able to drop exact lethal with the Fetch Fire Spray. But then I was able to take down game 3 and win that match, thankfully, and bounce back from that 0-1 start to 2-1. Then in round 4, I played Ian on his Kylo 2 Tarkin Town, the Shadows Kylo, which can be a little spooky for sure. But I run those 2 main deck open fires and the third one in the side, which can just kill him on flip. So that's what I did, and I was able to take that one down 2-0. Now in round 5, I played Jeremy on Cad Target Town, like the weenies variant, and that one I'll talk about a little bit because I actually spent a good amount of time leading up to the tournament, like diagramming out the opening lines for this matchup, because in my testing I found that the one line I wanted to avoid was where they play their first 1-3 or Stormtrooper or whatever. I play my turn 1 play. They play their second one drop, kill my turn 1, and then they have 2-3-1s on board and they're swinging for 6 on turn 2. I really wanted to avoid that situation, so I actually tried it out double passing against Cad, and I don't think Jeremy was quite prepared for that. So then I didn't play anything turn 1 in game 1, but he only had the Stormtrooper on the board, which I think I was okay with. That even though he has Tarkin Town still online, I get to drop my Marin or Ezra, and it's not going to die from ping Tarkin Town on round 2. So I feel personally better about that situation as Han2 Blue into the Cad Tarkin Town. But yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting situation because it's such a polarizing matchup. Like some Cad players think they really like it, some Han players like myself think they like it. But obviously this match worked out for me. And then in game 2, I like triple passed and was able to drop a Grogu after both his one drops were down. So took that match down 2-0. So at this point, I'm feeling better. After losing that first round, now 4-1. I'm like, all right, 3 rounds. We just got to win 2 out of the 3, and we'll go on to day 2. So going into round 6, I actually played against that was Jake from Seattle, who I met that day, and in my first mirror match. But I was a little surprised to not have one sooner. Won the roll off in game 1 and just was able to curve out and get crate down first and stick that second crate. I think is what sealed the game. Game 2 was a bit of a grinder, and then game 3 was a little rough. I had no turn 1 place in either opening hand, which I rechecked my math. It's just about 1% chance of that happening, which really was not great. And he said I think he started Grogu in all 3 games. So it was a rough start, but actually what caught me up in that game was a pretty clutch top deck on the 5 resource turn, both of our flip turns. I drew my Power of Dark Side with a Marin on board. So I was able to attack with Marin and immediately pitch that to the discard and then to get my double proc Anakin off for 5 resources, which is just so much value. And from that, I was able to catch up on board and then ultimately drew all 3 of my Crate Dragons actually and dropped those and able to finish that game and win the match. So that was pretty sweet. Then in the second to last round of day 1, I played against Alex Blandon from KTOD on his Han1 green, and I feel like I like the matchup, but didn't like playing against one of the best Han1 players. So starting game 1, I had actually had a great opening hand. I think I had like Ogdo, Itinerant, Poe, and Entrenched, and then it started okay, and everything was going. I thought I was going fine. I actually was able to play a Crate Dragon on 8 resources when I didn't have too much damage on base. That quickly changed when Alex attacked with Emphas with a blaster and Han pilot on a Falcon. It got me to 22 damage. And then going into the last round, this is the next major misplay of the day. I spent all this time going through all the lines and just really thinking deep and trying to not screw it up. And I swung 10 to base to put him to 28. When he has a 7 attack Emphas on board, and he was like, game. And I just face palmed again. I was like, let's go to game 2. Thankfully, I kind of shook it off. Game 2 actually started horribly because he had Hauler into Falcon. For all the Han1 green players out there, Hauler is the MVP card into Han2 Blue. That's the one turn 1 play I don't want to see. But he had it, and then the Falcon to back it up. I think he got me to 27 out of 28 on his Han flip turn after swinging with a blaster. But he had to burn a lot of cards to do that. And then I actually just drew out of my mind heart of the cards. I got exactly what I needed. I even had to at one point he bounces Falcon and he's I think 2 off lethal. I had to play a Desperation Kadimundi and I got the Entrenched to answer his Falcon when he played it, and then just barely hung on and was able to win that game. And then going into game 3, it was a close game, but then again made the mistake at the end of the game where I assumed he had Surprise Strike and I could not win if he had it unless I claimed and he couldn't answer my Luke on board. But I floated for resources with Cheered in hand that I could have just played out and won that match. Instead, I claimed, and then he played Blue Leader and killed my Luke. So the biggest mistake there was assuming he has this one card Surprise Strike and not considering what else he could have had to lose me that game. But it wasn't all hope wasn't lost. I still had a win and in the last round against Kira Dadavolt, and that one actually was game 1 and 3 were on stream on Late Night Gaming, and so I won't go over too much. I think game 1 I just couldn't do enough early pressure, and he actually got all 3 Star Destroyers down, which was a fun board state at the end for sure. And then game 2 almost slipped away when he started to stabilize, and I was able to get a top deck my last crate and put it down for the win. And so we actually started game 3 with only 15 minutes left. So we were playing fast, both of us, and the real turning point was when he dropped a Snoke and I had no answer. So then he played Overwhelming Barrage, and because of the time shortage, wasn't able to spend the proper time to do the math and everything. So he actually left my leader up, which is not affected by Snoke, and Han is able to push, I think, 6 to 9 damage, and ultimately close out that game and secure my spot in day 2. So, roller coaster of a day, starting out with that major misplay, but then rising, taking five straight. Felt really awesome. So I was 6-2, towards the bottom of the 6-2s with my breakers, but still was just super stoked to be in day two at all. So going into day two, yeah, the rounds 9 through 12, like not only did I draw absolutely like fire in every single game, like top like crazy starting hands, top decking what I needed, but then top of that, I feel like every one of my opponents did not get what they needed in like any of the games. It seemed like, for example, in against Sam Neff in round 9 on his Hamon Green, like he had to start blue leader into tech in game two, which is, I'm sure most Hamon Green players will know, that's not your ideal opening line at all. So took that one 2-0. Round 10 against John's Han2 Blue, I felt pretty comfortable thanks to my teammate Carlos, who's been playing that deck. We've been kind of grinding that matchup. I actually beat that in the finals of my PQ the weekend before, so I felt pretty good and, basically, again, got what I needed to win that one 2-0. Then round 11, I played Trevor's Yoda Green, Force, and yeah, in that game two, I think he had no turn one playing either hand, and I had like one of those hands where if you could pick your starting hand, it would be the cards I had. So it's just one of those games where it's just like, we're playing a card game, we're not playing chess. Like, luck was on my side. I obviously played well as well, but like, you have to be both good and lucky, to do well at these tournaments. So I was kind of riding that, that wave. So then going into the winning in for top 8 against Ben from the Babu Freaks, the local team, on his CAD Tarkentown. Again, like great draws versus their bad draws on top of the good gameplay. But we both mulliganed in game 1, and he only had Aura Sing, no double 1-drop. I had Yaddle. So then in round 2, he taps out to play Boba, and then pings Yaddle, to set up the Tarkentown. I think I had like a Tinnerant or something, but I actually decided to entrench Yaddle to make Yaddle to a beefy 5/7 after that, and take it out of Tarkentown range, which then meant Yaddle basically got to like 3-for-1, killing Aura and then Boba on the following round. And that kind of just got me so ahead on board that game was pretty much over. And then game 2 was a little bit closer for sure, but I think I started. Yeah, he got the double 1-drop start, but I had Grogu and Marin, so I actually dropped Grogu first, let Grogu get Tarkentown, and then a full health Marin on the second round was able to start 2-for-1ing these little 3-for-3 that CAD plays. So Marin's a huge MVP in that matchup, and that was able to secure my spot in the top 8 from that win. So that was super sweet. Shout out to everyone I played in Swiss. Like, really enjoyed every match. Like, I love this community. Everyone was great. So going to the top 8 now, I played Daniel on his Anakin Blue Forest deck. And I will admit, when I first saw the matchup, I was like, oh, okay, like, I'm not playing Palp. Like, I feel good about that. Like, I don't mind the Anakin matchup too much because I'm usually not hitting base at all early on. So Anakin flips as like a 4 or 5 attack leader. However, I then realized, wait, Daniel's a 2 seed, I'm the 7 seed. With the new tournament regulations they added a little bit ago, he gets the initiative automatically. So I'm immediately at a big disadvantage. Like, when not only is it like kind of a force mirror, but then to be an Anakin force mirror, it's just an uphill battle from the start. But it was a great game 1, very back and forth, like haymakers, like Anakin, Mace, Luke, like it was awesome, great match. Got to the crate turn, and I had my crate dragon, but no answer to his crate dragon. So I'm thinking I just need to drop mine, and he blew me out with a Force Lightning, killing it, with only 1 damage back. And after that, he dropped his crate dragon, and I had no answer. So, yeah, he took game 1. Going into game 2, it really is, like I said before, like you gotta be lucky and good, and my luck just kind of ran out a little bit, and that's okay. That happens. I had the mulligan. I think I only had Ogdo and like no turn 2 play. So then I dropped the Ogdo, and I'm feeling okay. Maybe we'll be okay. We had a good mulligan to our best turn 1 play, but then he got his secretive sage, like the best turn 1 play he could have had. If he only had like a Yaddle there or something, then like I think I could win that game. But he plays sage, so I make this probably questionable play to then entrench my Ogdo, so he can't use the Anakin ability to kill it, without thinking about his possible answers to that, which he then drops a Jedi Saber on his stage, and that was pretty. I just knew it was over. It was GG at that point. We played it out, of course, but yeah, I just did. He had the Chiadi Mundi into. Well, I can't remember what 5 drop he had, but just like the ideal curve, and I'm playing like, yeah, just not what I want to be playing on my curve. So got taken out 0-2, but yeah, I was still super stoked with the run. Finishing 10-3 overall in 7th place. Had to take a pause to show off some of the swag. Here's the top 8 Anakin match, which I think is really sweet. Definitely be using this a lot moving forward. I think overall they improved with the prizes. Unfortunately can't show off the uncut sheets that I got. Those are being shipped back to Wisconsin right now. But I do applaud Fantasy Flight Games for just upping the quality of the prizing across the events for sure. And it's just still kind of in awe of amazing weekend of Star Wars. It's very fortunate to be able to go and spend the time to do a game like this. It's a great community. Did have a few learnings that I will call out. I think I went over most of these earlier, but just kind of recap it. I think the first one is, for me, I overthink everything, especially in the game. So I think just being cautious of that, maybe growing some awareness of like when I'm going too deep into the tank, like someone's got to pull me out. I'm too many levels down, like I did against Piet, where I'm just overthinking and need to kind of just keep it simple and go for the lines that will win me the game. The other one, along the same line, same kind of train of thought, avoiding those lines that rely on my opponents to make a mistake. Instead of going for what is my best outs, I instead was waiting for these mistakes that they don't happen. It's when you're at this level, like it's not a consistent way to win. So that's definitely a learning of mine. And lastly, being careful of these assumptions I'm making in my head, especially when kind of planning out lines or figuring out what to play around. I think the biggest example I had was against Alex's Hamon Green at the end of the game 3, assuming he had surprise strike, not even like considering for a second maybe he doesn't have it, and instead, trying to be more open minded with some of these lines. And it's always easier said than done. It's easy to look back on it, in hindsight, but definitely something I'm going to work on personally and try to get better at. It just definitely help improve my game for sure. All right, to close out, we got a couple shout outs. Shout out to my team, Late Night Gaming. Shout out to those from my team who came out to Portland with me, Carlos, Micah, and Herbal Trader. And shout out to Loopy, who did the producing of the stream from home. And shout out to the entire team for helping me get prepared. I couldn't do it without them. Shout out to the Babu Freaks, the local team from Portland. Drew for his top 4 finish. Alex, Ben, and the rest of the team for really having a great showing at their local event. And then shout out to Mike Gem, aka Bobby Sapphire from KTOD, for taking it down with his really awesome Palpiolo list. Definitely check out his video about the event. I'll put it down in the description. And then shout out to the judges and all the tournament staff. That was, besides the crazy heat in the room on day 1, it was a really well-run event. There weren't any delays or anything like that. Like it was great to be part of it. And thanks for all those who made it happen. Finally, we have the Yaddle mat giveaway. This is the participation mat from the event if you weren't able to make it out there or to the Philly sector this weekend. So if you want to enter the giveaway, just subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. And comment below with who's your favorite Jedi Master. Is it Yaddle? Is it someone else? For me, I'm pretty basic. I love me, just Obi-Wan Kenobi, but if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.